Hello, hello, hello. So, what are we doing today? Well, I'm onto I'm back on the UI finally, mostly, kinda. I'm trying to get a couple of bugs worked out that have come as a result of all of the backend code I've put in place. Um, there's still some disconnect between how things are functioning and the way they should be. So we'll see how this goes. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can get this working. So the problem is, you can see I've got my login here, but I'm getting a 404 error, and AI doesn't have a clue. It says, oh, there's something wrong with your call, but there shouldn't be anything wrong with my call because I haven't changed the call. It's exactly the same. It's the same code. There's something weird going on. So what I probably need to do is do a catch of my logic here and see if I can somehow trap this. Nope, why can't I trap this? Pretty sure it was a post. Let's see what we got here. Login user. Yeah, it's a post. See, we keep getting this login error, and it's a bad request. All right, let's see what we got here. So we have the full path is API auth login 8080. You know, it's got the username and the password that I passed, which doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. So, I mean, I'm not logged. My account doesn't exist, but that's not the problem. The problem is that it's not. It should be telling me like user not found, you know, that kind of thing. And so the problem has something to do with that API. And so .404 page not found. Error in post. Huh. Oh, All right, let's go to stop this. I don't know if maybe there's something weird going on with my. Maybe I haven't compiled correctly. Sometimes that's the case. Let's go see what compiling does here. Fair number of warnings. Ooh, a lot of warnings here. Run simulator, sim game. Sim game is actually the old process. So I don't know if I care about the sim game. Run simulator. And of course that shouldn't be causing me a problem. That's not actually a compile issue. Yes, when I get to the simulator, that's going to be a thing I need to deal with. But we're going to have to just see if we can get this sucker running. Dang nabbit. So, what's the latest in the world? Debugging? I said debugging UI. Probably should not be so illiterate. I need some music. Let's see if I go turn on some of this weird background music so it doesn't sound so quiet. They're so quiet. Distractions. Okay, let's go see YouTube. I've been working on this all day. Not the same problem, but other issues that have kind of come up as I inch my way forward. I don't like techno, but thing is, half the stuff that comes out is techno.
NFL rookies if they went by their real first names. About a year ago, I went through a bunch of NFL players who don't go by their actual first names and exposed them for the frauds they are. Guys like Coleridge Stroud and Eugene Smith. And just because these rookies weren't in the NFL back then, doesn't mean they're off the hook. So let's go. Lad McConkey is actually Andrew McConkey. Lad is his middle name, so if you thought his name couldn't get any whiter, you were wrong. Chop Robinson is actually Damian Robinson. And while I knew Chop was a nickname, I did not know that his real first name was to put as many vowels in a row as humanly possible. Also, Chop comes from his childhood nickname Pork Chop, which he got because he was 14 pounds at birth. Xavier Leggett is Anthony Leggett. Pretty boring, so I see why he goes by his middle name. Rook Orororo is actually, oh boy, Oganera Kevwe Orororo? I think I got that right. Yeah, I can see why he goes by Rook, but honestly, I kind of wish he kept the full thing, because I would love to watch announcers struggle with this on a weekly basis. Kool-Aid McKinstry is JaQuincy McKinstry. The Kool-Aid nickname is because when he was a baby, his smile reminded his grandma of the Kool-Aid Man. So there you go. All the rookies who are dirty, dirty liars. NFL rookies if they went by their real.
Okay, all right. I got distracted. Let's see.
And expose them for the frauds they are. Guys like Coleridge Stroud and Eugene Smith. And just because these rookies weren't in the NFL back then.
He talks about some cool music or football stuff. All right, so free background music for YouTube videos and content creators. Learn to develop your music. I hate these. The way they pump the image. Oh god, that bugs. It hurts my eyes. Bass boosted city, but all these are like techno. Dum. It's because they're made with they're made with synthesizers or synthesizers or whatever you call them. You know, electronic pianos, computers, and they're very minimal effort involved in those. While it's not low effort, but the machine does all the music, and they just change and they add some beats and they let it do its thing, and they slow this down and speed that up and just create a bunch of synthesized music. So some of these sound okay. You can get certain effects, but a lot of them just sound very electronic. This one doesn't say what kind of music it is. All right, let's try that one. I mean, sure, it's... Oh, that's kind of loud, though. That's, we don't want it to be so loud that it's drowning out my dulcet tones. Alright, so anyway, let me know if it's too loud, drowning me out, or just hard to hear, or whatever. Okay, let's see where I can get here to get this thing through. So we really didn't make any progress. I should fix things like this, skipping auto scroll behavior due to position sticky. I don't know. So we have a full API path. It's definitely correct. There's no doubt we have a valid path here. We're going to put in some headers. I don't know if this is like calling it right or why. response equals, then my endpoint still showing up as correct. That's the right endpoint. 80 API. Oh, but wait, that's like the whole endpoint. All right, so we have a problem. We're doubling up is what's going on. See, I got HTTP localhost 8080 endpoint being attached to localhost 8080 API. That's the problem. So, however this is building, it's getting too much. Oh, and this is a result of implementing. Okay. So endpoint is wrong. That's the big thing. And this is a problem with AI. AI has a thing about reading my variables. It doesn't want to. So this is the full API path, but it's putting the full path in even with this. I don't need that anymore. And I can't really log. This might be the full API path, but what I really need to pass in is just this / login. That's the thing. Because this thing takes care of adding the API path, so I don't need that. So / login is, I'll just say logging in at, I can do something like / API and we'll just do that, and then we'll just say that should take care of that problem. That'll fail, but hopefully this next call will not. So now we're going to API auth login. Wait, my endpoint still has the whole thing? Oops, did I not? Oops, I didn't save. I want to save that. Let's try that again. Now, where were we? Dang it. Okay, so now we got this, which is just the login plus API, which I think is all we need. No, that's supposed to be auth login. Ah, shiminy Christmas. All right, well, we're still not there. We still got it. We still got it wrong. It's still gonna go no good. Yeah. Turkey. All right, so we got to go back over to here. So what are we doing here? So we have the API path, which we really don't need over here anymore. I'm tagging on the auth. Okay, so what we need to do is call this API auth. All right, so we can get rid of this whole thing. And then everywhere that we have node and process env Guess I could have that, I suppose. Alright, so that doesn't grab anything. This is just going to go login, in which case I do need to put this in there, API path. Because this is only specific to this oh. This JS file. And there you go. So that should give me the whole thing I want. This JS file has the API auth for all of its calls. And that's why I did that. I don't know. It was originally had all the prefix path, but now because the way things have changed, I no longer need to do that. And I can clean this up a little bit. I'm using a common service or JS file that's going to make all my calls to my API. This way I don't have to, it's kind of like reducing the redundant code. You know, I hate redundant code, so this allows me to avoid the things that hurt. Okay, so let's see what we got now. All right, so now we should have API all the way to API, and then we have the endpoint, which is auth login. Perfect. Let's see what we get this time. We still got an error, but it's a 500 error this time, so we've got a slightly different error, which I still think might be actually okay. Failed to find user. So yeah, we got a failed to find user. It's just ugly. That's the problem. So let's see if I can get this fixed. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to back to my auth data here. We're gonna go. Let's clear off this. Do a new chat. They actually added, by the way, Visual Studio GitHub now has the option of Claude 3.7 added to it. It was just 3.5. In fact, I don't even think it had Claude at all. They just recently got Claude in here. They've got the basic stuff. You still can't do 4.5 or Gemini or any of that, but hey man, this is something. 3.7 is crucial because that's like way better. That's the best one. Sorry, Gemini 2.5. You just fail all the time. It just what it does. I don't know. I mean, Claude's been failing a lot on me lately too because my applications get pretty complex. And it's starting to kind of stumble a lot, but it still solves problems better than Claude, or better than AT&T. So, my wife's upgrading her phone. Costco has a deal to go from S22 to S25. That's 3 jumps for no cost. And she just has to pay tax. I don't know what that's going to be. But what is an S25? Alexa, what is the retail cost of an S25?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh, okay. Alexa, what is the MSRP for a Galaxy S25 phone?
The Samsung Galaxy S25's manufacturer's suggested retail price, MSRP, is $799.99 for the version with 128 gigabytes of storage and $899.99 for the version with 256 gigabytes of storage.
So that's actually not as bad as I thought. I thought they were closer to $1,000. So they're between $800 and $900. I'm guessing she's getting the 800, which probably be about $80. And Costco's giving away, or when you do the swap, you get a $100 Costco certificate. So she's coming out ahead because we had to pay tax, but she comes out 20 bucks ahead. So it's not bad. Let's see, login user is returning an error that really should just be handled gracefully with text that shows up above the login button. Stating user not found. All right, so we'll go over to the login user function and see how this updates. So we're going to try to capture status, get token, XP, remember me, return, success, else. So we are going to have a special catch, handle API error, login user, console error in logging in user, blah, blah, blah. Return a user-friendly error message, return success false, message, handle error message, user not found. Alright, so we're basically going to add this thing to the ending. To clean that up. And then I hate example UIs because it doesn't consider my actual UI. So it's like, no, I don't want your example UI. Tell me to work with the actual UI I have, you doodlehead. Now I don't even know what. All right, so login. My dog needs to go upstairs, so I have to go log in. Show me the applied update in my actual login code. I'm gonna go let my dog go upstairs just a minute. Come on, you. All right. Now, I'm not logging them on. All right. What did it do? Another one of those where it doesn't tell me what needs to be changed, so it gave me the entire thing. You got to be careful about just taking stuff. All right, so let's see. We got fetch auth, login, alert. Okay, so we got handle submit, which I don't think is really the problem either, but maybe clear any previous error messages. All right. Oh, did we? Shall register, password confirm, password match, username, password, register user, error result, login, alert, else, username, password, result, login, result success, and login, else, display the error message above the login button, user not found. All right, let's see. Well, let's see if that was all, because going down and stepping through all of this is going to be unfun. It's probably here because I gotta go to the login button, set password, blah blah blah. Set backer code, set birth date. Okay, so we got type background, show register, blah blah blah. Set remember me. Where is the button? Handle login click. Oh, okay. Map. Create account. Social connect button. Okay, so it didn't actually change my social connect button, which is that thing, which is actually supposed to be above. Background, class name, show register. Set password. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, I don't know where the button is. Oh, here it is, button. Okay, I found it, never mind. Background, class name, example, 50 transfer. Okay, so I think we're okay. Because apparently I don't have any text right there. Let's see what it does. That didn't show anything. Login now shows nothing. User is not found. The logic is correct, but if result.message is undefined or empty, the error message won't be displayed. To fix this, ensure result.message always has a value. You can add a fallback message like this. Alright, well, for one, we'll have to do a break here. Because that's not going to work. How do we end up over here? Because I know that's the register user. This is the one I'm trying to get in here. Severity 0, set error, result message. Looks like my wife wants to go play pickleball. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna go play pickleball. Although my back's been spasming, but I probably won't tell her. It's my upper back. It's not an injury. I just did something this morning and tweaked it. I think it's just the muscles spasmed. When it does that, it hurts. So yeah, we'll probably I'll probably go play pickleball. It'll loosen up. I'll be fine, and then it'll hurt tonight. That's what'll happen. All right, let's go. Let's see. Can I find error or class name, something? Because we're setting an error. Oh, is this the one I need? Error. That's the one. Error, text red, cause. Yeah, that's the right one. That's what it should be doing if there's any error to be seen. Oh, I forgot you can't do that. All right. So we're gonna have to put a break like right here just to see what the heck. And then we'll run it again. Try to log in. Oh, we know this is doing something. Alright, so what do we have? Severity is definitely 0. False. Okay. Result message. Undefined. Why do we have a result.message that's undefined? When in fact, it should be printing out fail to find user. I think it's the wrong text. I think that's the problem. Let's go back to my auth and log in. Handled message. I guess I have to stop it right here. Find out what the heck it thinks it is. Elf. Now it shows up with the right thing. Request failed. Oh, I think it... Oh, well, that's fine. But I don't know if I like this error. Why is it... I want it to stop throwing a console error for this particular thing. Is that a possible... Is it possible to do that? Huh. It didn't actually... It says user not found again. That's just defaulting to user not found. That's like every error that we ever get is going to be that. I don't like that. So why didn't I get trapped? Are we not coming here? Alright, something's wonky. Why am I not hitting these stupid things? So this stream will be over when it's time to go play pickleball. I liking some pickleball. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but we gotta figure out this. Why is it that when I get a fail to find user error, the catch never fires? You know what? I wonder if we are going here instead. Aha, that's the problem. So it's not technically blowing up is what's happening. It's just getting a manageable error. But failed to find description. So I need like this to be data dot, is it data dot description? What is that supposed to be? It's data. Data. I'm not sure what this is showing me then. How do I do that? Description? Is it? It's not data dot description. Line 64 is catching the user not found error, and data has the information, but it is not in the message. I don't know what I'm supposed to be putting in here. Is it code? Error code? Description. Disk. Internal disk? I don't know what that... What am I supposed to be putting in there? Else. Data.message. An unknown error. No, data.error. Oh, is it data.error? Oh, maybe it's data.error. Nope. It's data.something. Data. Hey, Disky, how you doing? What's the latest? Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Although I'm gonna be, my wife's on her way home from Costco, and then she wants to go play pickleball. So probably go play pickleball. I always say yes. She says, "You want to play pickleball?" I say, "Yeah, let's go play pickleball." Because hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. And finally, you can see I'm back on the UI, sort of. But after all the back-end code I did, some stuff got mangled a little bit. So I'm trying to attach the front-end stuff to the new, more robust back-end stuff, but so that I can start attaching some of those new things I put in. But I have to get all the front end stuff I already had working with the new layout. So that said, I'm close. Right now I'm actually trying to fix a visual thing. There's failed to find user. How come I can't get this to show up? Error. Code? No. I get it. I mean, if you it depends on your experience with programming, you know, kind of get a better idea. But again, I don't think it's that. I think you just gotta break it down into the simple parts. Okay, when you're coding, this is the big thing. Stop looking at it as a big nebulous, I want to have multiplayer. See, that's a nebulous statement. Multiplayer could be, this whole piece back here is massive, right? So you think, okay, you got to break it down into the little stuff, the little stuff. So when you're talking to AI, you first find out what technology you want to use. So if you're going to use, you want to do a backend, obviously multiplayer, it's a backend, right? Some kind. I like the idea of going with a backend microservices. Microservices are just like little applications. Okay, so one handles your user connections, one handles, like I did, like I created one for a bunch of different stuff. I have one for my simulations, one for my user data, one for my coaching, my game plans, my playbooks, all the pieces. Now, if you're doing something a lot smaller, like you're just trying to get multiplayer up, right? So you have a UI. But remember, the trick is your UI, if it's sitting on your phone, has to be shared with another person. So they have to see the same thing that you're seeing. So whatever they connect to has to be the same. So if one person can't well, I guess it depends on the game, but sometimes it's kind of difficult for them to go, because everything has to stay in sync. So if you're keeping track of a massive map, but maybe the screen is only showing a piece, but they have to be on the same map. So it just depends on what you're trying to accomplish there. If you're working on a single screen that they're just kind of playing around in one area, then that's a little easier, I think. But my thought is the process of your entire UI. One of you could be hosting, like the person who starts the game. And then so the game, your Android or your PC application or whatever, is gonna send the state of your game through to the client, through to the other person. And it's gonna go through your backend. And the backend is anything he does is gonna send back to you. So it's just gonna keep this kind of path going back and forth. And if you have a single screen set up, they'll send the screen that you're on to that person. And then whenever his character, which is going to load up on the screen, shows up, it'll be sent back to you. So everything has to happen on the back. So you have to make sure that all that interaction with that page, that both you have the same page. So that's kind of like the first thing. What's the first step, to having a multiplayer? Well, both of you need to have the same map, and both of you need to be able to log in your characters. And it should show that character on both persons' screens. Start small like that. Just try to get two people starting a screen where you have both of them load up their guy and it shows up on the other person's. And that means getting a microservice set up in the back end that can handle putting one person on both people's screen. That's how I would start. And obviously you're working with AI to get that set up. You kind of say, okay, well, I want to create a simple two-player game. Both people have the same screen. And I want them to be able to load up their character and it show up on both persons' screen. And then AI will kind of walk you through it. But you got to decide what your pieces are, where you're going to host them, how you're going to set all that up. Because remember, both people have to have access to your backend. So you're going to have to make some kind of either a public interface or for your purposes on your machine, if you're just developing it locally to see if it works. you might do something like have it accessible through your local network, which is possible. Your endpoints would be like localhost, or the name of your PC. And then so if you have two PCs that want to connect to each other, they still go through the same process of going to a backend, but the difference is they're all going to work within your local network environment. It's not it's just like the internet, but instead of using like mywebsite.com as your domain, you'll be doing probably an IP address as your domain. So 192 times .23.15.165 or whatever it is. And that'll be your development zone. So both of them will connect to that same endpoint. It's kind of like when I'm working on mine, all of my endpoints, look, I'll show you what my endpoints look like. Endpoints are the URLs. Funny, up until a year ago, I didn't even know that, which is sad because I always thought URLs or URLs or URLs. But at my job, I got a new position, and everybody was talking about these URIs and endpoints, and I'm like, what the heck is a URI? Is that like a URL? And they're like, yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, what is an endpoint? It's a URL. They're the same thing. It's just the path. See, these are my endpoints. And what they mean by, the technical difference between a URL and an endpoint is the endpoint is the part that goes after the domain. So mywebsite.com would be followed by API OAuth in order for me to call my OAuth function. So if I put in, if somebody types in my domain blah 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 API OAuth, it's going to try to call this function. Now whether or not the function is listening or whether it's up and running or whatever, we'll decide how it handles it. But then this will pass it back to my authentication server, which will then do all the functions and stuff that are related to making this call. So what happens is my auth server hears the call. It's like it's over here. It's AMG auth right here, and it gets called through grpc handler.go right here. So now if it got called, the grpc error handler was called with login, and now login with OAuth. So that says, oh, we were requested information. This is what was sent. So let's call the function. Now we have a function called login with OAuth that's going to go through the process of, validating their user ID, checking the system to see if they exist already and that kind of stuff. And then it'll send a cookie back to the front end so that the cookie can keep track of the person. But in your case, it'll be like you'll have some endpoints that say something like connect user, and then when it calls the endpoint with his user information, it'll pull it from the system and send his avatar up to the host UI or to the other UI, and his avatar can then be put on the screen just like any other piece of asset, like it was an image or whatever. So, and then just having that is an accomplishment, right? Because you're like, ooh, now I got two guys on the screen. Now I want to be able to have one guy move his guy, one guy move the other guy or something. You slowly kind of work through little pieces, and AI will help you get through it. I guarantee you, I think you can get through it with AI, but you're just trying to get that setup, that base setup. And what I did to get my microservices going, mind you, I hadn't done a lot of microservice development. I basically just said to AI, I said, all right, so I'm using Go. I want to set up a microservice architecture authentication. And it kind of just said, okay, well, here's a blah, 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 and it spit out an authentication thing. And I watched a couple of YouTube videos of guys that were doing something similar. And then they were using a gateway with like the gRPC, what I'm doing. And I kind of thought, well, that's a lot more secure because everything's forced to go through one gateway. And it keeps the flow of all your data centralized. So you can kind of have everything going in and out of that gateway. And it gets to be the gatekeeper. Only calls that go through the gateway can function. So if you don't go through the gateway, you can't make calls. So it's a little bit more secure. So I said, all right, let's set it up with the gateway. And even my services, when they talk to each other, they still go through the gateway. They don't call each other directly. So everything goes through the gateway. So hopefully, according to AI, a gateway can handle all this. You know, there shouldn't be any bottlenecking because it's pretty instantaneous transfers. It just, calls come in and it just routes them to the right place. So my wife's home from Costco. I have to go help her unload, and then I have to get ready for pickleball. So I have to head out. But hey, man, I will be back. I'm gonna get this. I think I already have. Well, this is already working. I'm just trying to clean up how it looks. But I'll get that working, and then off to the next thing. Hopefully, I'll be finally putting data in before this week's over. I gotta get game plans, plays, playbooks. All those things need to be up and on their way. Hey, man, I hope it helps, and let me know. You know, keep me posted on your progress.